Welcome to PCA 2025, coming back to New Orleans. First day, one of my favorite friends in the industry. We go way back. 2008, it was actually 2007 or 8 was my first trade show.
Was it really?
And,
was that Vegas? I'm trying to remember where.
The original one was Vegas. I met you and Sean Knudsen. Oh, this is Tim Swail, by the way. Him and Sean started this little company back in the early days. They actually started in 1997. So we were just talking about how we're the old guys in the industry and talking about our kids. And that's what I always tell the people that, we do this for the audience to appeal to the people that really can't be here and they want to be here and get to know the different types of products. And, and everybody's excited about cigars. However, I've been preaching the gospel of Boveda Humidipack in the early days.
For a long time, yeah.
I love the product. I think most people know that, the true two-way system. Tell us a little bit, Tim, about the journey and where it's been, where it's going, where's the future. Give it to us straight.
Yeah. So everybody has a story, right? And every company starts somewhere, and every company goes into certain things.
Excuse me.
Oh, hi there. Good to see you. Hey, I'll come see you. Yes.
That's okay. We're just filming.
That's right. This
is the trade show.
That's the way it goes, and you get a lot of good friends.
That's right. This is why we come, right?
Yeah,
this is all about that's the theme for us. Not to cut you off, I want you to get right back into it. But the theme for me this year is really the feeling of family that you get in this industry. I mean, it's a relatively small industry, but at the same time, it's not that small.
Yeah.
But yet, it does feel intimate.
Absolutely.
Go back to the story. Tim.
Yeah. So, trying to remember exactly where it was. Everything's a journey, right? And businesses take time to develop, and building brands take time to develop, and that's kind of the similar story that we have with Boveda. Early days Humidipack, but our first show was in 1997. We were in Orlando, and we didn't have a booth. That was the year that we went to try and make the break into the industry. 98 was the first year that we actually had an exhibit at, back then it was called RTDA.
Right.
But Sean and I, and we had other partners that we started the company with, some very smart individuals on the convention side of our technology. So chemist, packaging engineer, and we just built a good team. We had a good nucleus together, and then over time we've bought those partners out. But we like I said, most businesses, you start off, it took us a long time to build it. We were trying to build a category, two-way humidity control, which nobody knew.
Everybody thought it was magic, hoopla. Would you say that the Fuente relationship in the beginning kind of catapulted you? Or what would you think was the first thing that really just jumped in?
Yes, I mean, anytime you have somebody with the brand recognition and the notoriety of the Fuente family, especially Carlito, that puts you on a map where people, if Carlito says yes to what you're doing, then other people take notice of that,
Which is
right?
what I think really happened, because in the beginning, I guess a lot of people were very skeptical about the whole, what is this, and the science of it, But when he said, hey man, this is real, I think people started to listen,
They did. He's an icon in the industry, and he was able to influence people by saying, no, this stuff is real. He tested it. He made sure that Boveda worked really well, and it's a great story. He called me one day after testing it and just said, this was so good. How did this happen? He goes, I thought I was losing my mind. He goes, I gave it to my dad. I gave cigars, some cigars that had been stored with, back then, Humidipack.
Right.
And he said, I smoked them, they were delicious. I gave them to my dad, said, you smoke these, tell me what you think. And his dad said, these are really good. What's the difference? And he said, they've been stored with Humidipack. And that was the moment that Carlito said, you know what, we're going to start working with you on this stuff. This is going to change. So here's Carlito's words. This is going to change the industry for good.
And you know what? He was right.
Yes, and he was
right. I mean, I became friends with you guys early on, and I loved seeing you guys every year and seeing the growth. You know, we've both been on this long journey, and it's been a wonderful journey. You know, for me, I've been 20. Well, I started smoking in 92, 94, and I was around the industry as just a hobbyist aficionado. And I was fortunate to be able to be, also a manufacturer and buying into a factory and all that. But I love the relationships, and I just want people that smoke cigars to know that this is the most, in my opinion, and I think most people's opinion, the most important accessory that you can have to a cigar. A cigar is great, but if it's not well maintained, you're losing half.
Yeah.
What's the word if it blows up on you, if it's too dry, if it's too humid, and there's nothing that works. And I feel like I'm the unofficial spokesman because I love talking about cigars, and I'm not joking that any shop, when I'm selling my cigars, and if you're not using Humidipack, I was going to say Humidipack, Boveda, you're missing the boat. You know, and there's a lot of other things that have been around over the years, and there's other ways to try to do it, whether it's electronically, but there's nothing as foolproof, as simple as Boveda.
Well, thank you.
I just want people to understand that you guys have been around a long time. I'm glad to see you here every year after year, show after show, catching up with you guys. And what would you say now? How do you feel coming back to New Orleans? After what was it? 2015? What was the last
15.
year?
So 10 years ago. I was energized by it. I love the food scene here, and Vegas is always easy because you're centralized. You don't have to go walk or travel, to get around.
Right.
In the old days, when it was at the Sands and you would just stay at the Venetian, it was very convenient.
Right.
But I was excited for this. I think there's a new level of energy this year, people coming to New Orleans versus Vegas. And I think what it does is it's probably going to bring more East Coast people in where, every time you're in Vegas, you get a lot of the West Coast retailers. But no, I'm excited about it. And the weather is, what a perfect time of year to be in New Orleans. It's not in the summertime anymore when it was hot and humid.
That's what I remember the most about 2015. Just being so hot and sticky.
Totally,
in a different way than Vegas, where it's like being inside of an oven. Here you were just sweating and walking down Bourbon Street, so the weather has been fantastic.
Yes.
And I just feel a rejuvenation of people coming. I know initially there was some people not wanting to come here, but I think yesterday's opening show was a great, wow, this is pretty good. So I'm excited. Not that the folks out there are going to know that this is literally the first interview. Just so happened, I love seeing my friends for the first one. Literally the show hasn't even started.
Yeah, officially hasn't opened.
So, but as important I feel that Boveda is, and is there anything you want to tell us?
Yeah, you hit a couple things when you were talking earlier about. And to boil it down, that smoking experience, right? You could have a great cigar that you've not maintained, and you've lost all the oils, all the sugars, all the flavor has gone out of that, and then you've had a bad experience. So really, when we look at Boveda, we just look at ourselves at protecting people's passions. And that's what we want to do. And you remember, we were cigar guys. We liked cigars before we even got in the industry. So that passion kind of helped us. Most like everybody.
I would say that most people, I've always said this, most people that get in this business, you don't go chasing. Look, we all want to make money in the industry, but if you're chasing your passion, I think the money comes. And it's evident with a lot of companies, especially yours, and the growth that you guys had over almost 30 years.
It's crazy. But so we're just blessed. We appreciate anybody that's watching this that buys our product. We thank them. It's just we're, like I said, we're just simple Minnesota guys that love cigars and in the industry and trying to build a great company.
And you've done that. And you've done that, Tim. And I want people, I know a lot of the consumers and smokers, I don't like calling them consumers, but part of the industry, the family of people that love cigars and are passionate. Now cigars are getting more and more expensive, as you know, with the whole Cuba and my connection there. And I mean, it's just gone to the uber extreme. When you're spending thousands and thousands of dollars to not invest in something like this, you shouldn't be in it. You shouldn't be wasting your money. And even though there's a lot of things out there that you can use to try to humidify your cigars, there's nothing that I've found as foolproof as this two-way system. That it's science, man. Like, a lot of times you don't have to understand it. I had to try to wrap my head around, wait, it's some salt-based product that just guarantees that you're going to have whatever. It's mind-boggling, but the time has gone, and it's tested it over and over. And if you don't know, if you've been under a rock and you don't know what Boveda's been or what it has done for this industry, it has. And Tim, it's always a pleasure to see you here.
Thank you, Nick.
And I know there's no new product because you've done it all, right? You got the big packs, you got the small packs, you got the humid bag. I think I could be doing the interview instead of you, and I'm talking too much. I want you to really just. You kind of got the message across. Any last words? Future, past, present, what can we say about Boveda?
Well, again, Boveda is a company, we always look at things, as you said before, we were talking about a journey, and our journey is we look into the future and say, how do we want to innovate? What else can we do? We've got some other things that we're working on right now that should come out this year. Wasn't in time for the PCA show, PCA show, so, but we're innovative, we're thinking, we're still energized, even though we're 28 years into it, we still have energy, and we really want to develop and continue to grow our portfolio and offerings to the cigar consumer, musical instruments, the other markets that we're in as well. So we've got some other things we're working on, but we've got a great team, and again, trying to build this company, build it with great people. And
you got great people like yourself, Sean, Dan, who I've known forever as well, who's also a good friend. One question. Cigars are still the base of your company, but now, as he just alluded to, musical instruments, keeping them properly humidified, how important a guitar is to have the proper humidity in it. Cannabis is also another big area. What is the breakdown now as far as...
It's probably about 50-50, meaning that tobacco is still bigger than cannabis and music, but if you take cannabis and music together, so it's about a 50-50 ratio between those markets. And
I think it's also early for those markets.
I mean,
the cigar.
You look at musical instruments, is always going to be a smaller segment of what we do, very specialized, but again, those people have passions for their guitars. Those are expensive. They want them properly protected. Now, cannabis is a little bit more of a bigger play.
Right.
It's a bigger market. Think of the momentum worldwide that's happening, where the acceptance of cannabis, plus cannabis is sold by weight. So when you sell things by weight, you want to maintain them, right? So moisture is a big component of that.
Big part of the weight.
And then that also relates into safety, into the efficacy of that product, because what happens is if you get too much moisture, you've got mold issues.
Right.
And then, not enough humidity in there, you've got a bad smoking experience and harshness, and you lose the medicinal effects of that and the aromatic and the whole entourage of it. So we look at that and we say there's a market there, and we can really help that market in both the medical, the recreational side, and that's globally. So
you brought the proven effect that it's had on the cigar industry, and I'm sure it'll be interesting to do it to everything else. Well, Tim,
Nick, thank you.
Pleasure for giving us your time.
Always.
We'll see you always, and keep fighting the good fight, man. Keep doing what you're doing.
Take
care, guys. We'll see you at the next interview.
Thank you, everybody.